Hello everybody, PsyStarcraft here with game number 2 today. Giving you 2 games today because I did miss Friday and yesterday. I love you guys long time and I try to make it up for you, to you, as much as I can. Sometimes I just can't, and I just need you to understand that, you know, Daddy lives his own life and sometimes he just can't take care of you and touch you the way you like to be touched. Wow, it took me 33 in-game seconds to make a pedophile joke. Wow, I am awesome. I am awesome. Anyway, this is a Zerg versus Zerg Heart of the Swarm game. I am the top right as the red Zerg. My opponent Kolbein is in the bottom left as the blue Zerg. The map is shit. Whirlwind, right? Yes, Whirlwind is a 4-player map. So you guys know pretty much in ZvZs I've been trying to warp the metagame. Not so much warp the metagame because that's never going to happen. Mutas are always going to be awesome. I've just been trying to do fancy stuff that's more fun to watch and more fun to play, and this is no exception. So you're going to see another strategy by me here. It's one that you've seen before, but the results are drastically different, and the game actually gets a little bit longer, so we'll see exactly what I mean by that. Apparently he wants to snipe my 2 banelings. Unfortunately for you, sir, snipe does not kill a baneling anymore. Bummer. I think it doesn't. Doesn't it do like 25 plus 20 psionic or something like that? 25 plus 25 psionic? I don't know. Maybe it does kill a baneling, but regardless, I wouldn't get ghosts against Zerg because they're not very good. Anyway, Kolbein going for a 15 hatch. I'm going for a 15 hatch as well. And look at this. My minerals are somehow like a lot. Well, they were more than him. Yeah, they're actually more than him because I'm making a drone. I have 25 more minerals than him, and the reason for this is because I like to individually micro my drones to make sure they go to the nearest mineral patch, to make sure they don't go to a patch that already has 2 drones on it. And as you can see here, it made about a 25 mineral difference. Now that we're all getting like extractors and weird stuff, it's going to obviously look different because of the production tab. But the idea is the same. I do have a lot more minerals. I have a half a drone lead on this guy. Yes, I might as well just quit the game now and be like, I won, you're a loser. But that's not how you get points in StarCraft 2. You get points by winning games. Yeah. His gas is going to be a little bit later. That's going to be less map control because of slower speed timing, but he's going to have a better mineral economy. His drones are going to be staying on that mineral patch for a little bit longer, while mine are going to be mining happily out of this little geyser. I wonder what they do while they're in there. It doesn't take them long to just go in and grab stuff and get out. It's pretty crazy. Like, how deep does this go? Why can't you just burrow as a Zerg into this Vesping extractor and just like unburrow out of this one, or even out of the gas tube thingy, and just assault them that way, like a really cheap early game Nidus Worm or something like that. 2 queens on the way as well as Link's speed. 2 queens for him as well. We are seeing he's behind in the gas count, and that's because my gas was so damn early. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if this is the greatest idea to go speed so fast considering the strategy I'm going to do that you're going to see here soon, because I don't take advantage of that early speed in the build that I'm doing. Now, yes, I do eventually want speed, but I don't think I needed it this soon, so I probably will change this up just to try to fine-tune this silly strategy that you guys have seen before. But this time, you know, whatever, I have the speed. Let's just deal with it. Evolution chamber going up around 72 gas. That's going to be at 150 by the time it finishes, and that's right, I'm going to be going for a Ling all-in off +1 armor. The reason I get +1 armor is because it allows them to survive a hit from banelings. It just really messes up baneling micro. You expect to like send one baneling at a bunch of lings and kill them, but then they don't die and they kill all your drones, and it's just a big mess. It makes it really hard for your opponent to respond as well as he wants to respond. So these 4 lings rather, are going to be going in. Meanwhile, his ling has been taken down by my drones. I don't know if he was able to see the Evo. He was not able to see the evolution chamber, so it's interesting to see how. So he responds with 18 lings. He sees the spine up. He doesn't see the evolution chamber, and he's just going to ling all in me. This is the worst possible response for me that my opponent could have. I don't want players getting tons of lings. I don't want them getting a baneling nest, although they will usually get a baneling nest. The ideal response for me is for my opponent to get a baneling nest as usual, get a spine, and play more defensive. But no, Kolbein is going for an all-in of his own, and with the added banelings in his army, it might be a little tricky for me to deal with. We're going to see how it goes. Of course, I'm going to be turning out a lot of lings myself. If we check out the unit stat, he's got 20 more lings than me, but not only that, he's going to be able to pump out some banelings before my +1 carry pace finishes, and that's going to be huge. He's making a lot of banelings, 7 banelings on the way, so it is all in versus all in right now. My all in would be coming a little later, so his is going to hit first, and without that +1 ground carry pace, it's going to be It's going to be pretty gross here. I got to micro my lings as best I can. Don't want them to die to the banelings. Got to get the clumped lings out of the way of the banelings. My spine is trying to focus the banelings, but it's not really happening. I have some of my lings on hold position so that if his banelings get close to it, they will crash into it. And actually, pretty decent micro right there. He kills my queen. He kills my spine. But not a lot else was lost. Unfortunately, I really needed that queen for the injects, and I'm kind of scared to be attacking these banelings, but luckily they weren't close to being finished, and I do thwart that attack. But look at my mineral count. I need injects out badly. And, you know, in hindsight, I didn't need 14 at each hatchery. I probably needed 11 or 12 at each hatchery. And I think last time I tried this ling all in, I actually said the same thing. Like, too many workers on the hatcheries. Those could have been lings instead of workers. Able to snipe a few lings right there. Oh, and now I have the +1 armor. So look at that. All these lings still surviving because of that +1 armor. And once again, we are seeing 2 lings wasted, or 2 banelings wasted on like 4 or 5 lings. It's really good. Once again, 2 banelings wasted on 4 or 5 lings. +1 armor is just awesome against this baneling composition. And we can see my opponent still just pumping out the lings. I'm pumping out lings as well. If we check out the harvesters, we're almost identical, so no one really has a clear lead. The only thing I can say is +1 carry pace is a more long-term advantage than having the baneling nest that he has. So it's still a close game. Trying to run into his base, but he's just got too many lings. Despite my +1 armor, I'm not really able to do a whole lot, and he's got 2 more supporting banelings as well. He is using a lot of gas on all these banelings, but I'm not mining gas at all, and my minerals are skyrocketing. Finally throwing down a macro hatchery, and just really struggling to spend my minerals. At this point, when I realize, okay, stopped his attack, I'm probably not going to be able to push into him because he's got just too many banelings. It's kind of the point where he knows what my strategy is, so there's no way he's going to let it work. I should be trying to just stabilize, go for workers, get some tech, and go that route. Instead, I choose to pull 3 drones off minerals, go back into the geyser, and I'm going to speed it up because there is a bit of a lull in the action right here. Go into the geyser, and I'm waiting for 100 minerals. Still, my minerals so damn high. Even when this hatchery finishes, they're going to be huge. And getting that +1 attack. And my idea at this point is, okay, well, I guess I'll just get like another upgrade and just like A-move all of my lings into his base. But we're going to see how well that works here in a moment. It's now 34 harvesters to 26, so he can see every single ling streaming by, so he knows he can't let up on the defenses. He has to just get a couple drones just to get ahead, but then just make lots and lots of defense. And you can see a little bit of an action going there, but nothing substantial happening. 14 more lings on the way after he sees so many, and this Overlord is just proving crucial, man. He can just see everything coming by. My +1 is nearing its finish. What's the ling count looking like? 123 to 68 lings, so I've got about twice the lings as him, but these 10 banelings are going to be pretty nasty. And is he getting an upgrade? He's actually getting +1 attack, and that's going to allow his banelings to one-shot my lings once again. So we're going to slow it down now that my +1 is about to finish, and that's the timing I want to hit. Keep in mind, he's up by 22 harvesters. These 10 banelings, or I should say 15 banelings, just counter my lings so well. It's going to be almost impossible to micro this huge number of lings against these banelings, and crash it into them is almost inevitable. Look at that. These banelings still just doing so much work even with the +1 armor, and that's because he now has +1 attack. Not the worst micro in the world by me, but it's almost impossible to micro against that number of banelings with tons of other zerglings attacking you when you've just got so many lings of your own. And he's able to clean that up with relative ease, although I do get a nice little sneaky skirmish here, killing quite a few workers. If we check out the worker count, that's the wrong button. Check out the worker count. I killed 8 workers. Unfortunately, he's still 17 workers ahead of me. So that strategy, not the greatest in the world, but there's still a chance, I suppose. Just continuing to rally. I do catch those guys in time. His Spire is on the way. I do have a lair, but it's not looking great when you're down by 16 on a harvester. Still getting a few lings, seeing if I can do some more run-bys, slow him down as much as I can. But there comes a point when getting lings and trying to do run-bys just isn't cost-effective enough. And that point was reached probably as soon as I started attacking just then. So his Spire is on the way. And no third bases yet. We both have the third bases scouted. He's got this one scouted anyway, not this one. Actually, I don't have any third bases scouted. What am I saying? I don't have this one or this one scouted. So my Spire coming now a tad later. Now, the only reason I would say I'm not as far behind as it seems is because I was floating so many minerals. I was able to get a lot of my infrastructure up, my Spire, my economy with my 3 extractors. Of course, he's mining off his three extractors a long time ago. So look at the gas difference. He's actually got about 400 more gas than me right now. And I'm going to speed it up just a tad right here. Again, I don't normally speed it up, but in a game with like just bursts of action, just pockets of action, I feel like it's necessary, especially when, you know, there's not a whole lot going on. So now my Spire is finishing, and it's really going to be a battle of who can get their third first and who can secure it better. But the main issue I'm going to have here is that he has like a 400 gas lead, so I'm going to have to catch up somehow. He's just now clearing out his third. Looks like he wants to take that as they have a drone coming to plant that hatchery. He's got a drone making an extractor. You need to be a hatchery, dude. What are you doing, you crazy ass? Crazy ass monkey. Overseer doing some scouting. Still no drone. Where's that drone at? Looks like I'm about to take my third as well. I've got a drone moving up there. And if we check out the units, it's 7 to 9 mutas. We both got armor on the way, but he's floating more gas than I am, so he is ahead in the muta count. If I can somehow stop him from sniping my third, snipe his third myself, I might be able to get my muta count high enough, but he does have a nice little lead. The only thing I've got going for me right now is I have the Ling upgrades. Oh man, he's tied with me on the Ling upgrades now, so he's just flat out ahead of me in everything right now. Harvesters, he's behind, but it doesn't really matter at this point because we're both fully saturated at our main and our natural, and we're just trying to get the third up. My third going up a tad sooner. He's now moving in with 10 mutas. I've got 9 mutas on defense. Is he going to think I have more mutas than him? He's going to snipe that Overlord, and yes, he's going to be flying back. It's hard to tell how many mutas your opponent has, so if it looks close, you probably don't want to engage if it's near their base because their reinforcements are faster. Sending in a small battalion of Lings trying to snipe this third hatchery. Oh, it's 90 hit points. Doesn't quite go down. Those Banelings just so scary too. I feel like I can't do like any Ling run-bys with these Banelings. It's kind of a bummer. Now 13 to 16 on the muta count. He's starting his +2 armor, and he has 3 more mutas than me, and 100 more gas than me. This is not looking good. I knew I was behind in this game. I didn't know I was like 500 or so gas behind. And, you know, taking this third a little bit before him and getting this gas ready just isn't going to cut it. We can see it's only about 20 in-game seconds ahead of his, and I'd say if you're mining gas immediately, that might be 100 gas advantage, if that. So I'm going to make up 100 of that gas, but that's about it. And again, he still has more mutas than me, and he still has those Lings and Banelings. A lot of Lings and Banelings, and the problem with the Banelings and Lings being better than my Banelings and Lings is that, whoa, lag spike, holy cow, is that if we do get in a Ling Muta Baneling war, he's going to win the ground war, and he's going to be able to camp his Lings under his mutas to absorb the bounces from the mutas. And it makes a pretty big difference if you know, upgrades are identical and muta counts are similar. So he's got that going for him as well, in addition to just his, you know, normal muta lead. I am going to try to take my fourth here pretty soon. He did try a run by, I believe. He might have killed a couple workers. No, it's just a single Ling. We're just at a standstill for the time being. His +2 is going to finish so much sooner than mine, and if he times his +2 with an attack, that could be huge. My meter's just clearing out any overlords, any kind of watchtower units in the middle. 23 to 24, still neck and neck, but again, he's got the upgrade advantage, he's got the gas advantage, and I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. Just kind of poking in, seeing his muta count. So many Lings and Banelings, though. These guys just hanging out, trying to protect my third from any quick run-bys. Normally, you won't see Banelings go on the offensive, so I'm not too concerned with just kind of like leaving them there. Just because Banelings are so slow. They're usually just going to be defensive units for your third, your fourth, and so on. So he's got a split attack coming here. Some mutas going for my natural, it looks like. Some going for my third. Looks like I do have some Lings there already to help deal with this. More coming to help. These guys running by into the natural aren't going to get a whole lot done. I have plenty of Lings there and the spines and some more spawning mutas to help out. And this attack finally being cleaned up. The queen even survives there. 0 workers killed and all that. So great multitasking. Able to clean that up, but now here it comes. His +2 armor is finished. If we check out the army account, he's got 4 more mutas. He's got that +1. He's got the ground advantage, so his Lings and Banelings can absorb the mutaless glaives. And another thing that this ground advantage helps too is your mutas sometimes will slip up and attack the Lings instead of the mutas if they're not in range. So here he comes, so many units. I do have more mutas than him now, but again, he has that ground war advantage. And here we go. Holy crap, I don't even know what's happening here, but let's just assume lots of stuff is dying. Look at this, he's just completely cleaning out everything on the ground. I've got way less mutas than him, and that's really the +2 armor and a lot of my mutas. This guy, you little asshole, that guy was back there attacking a ling, and it looks like he's going to be able to clean up my lings or my mutas just fine. That +2 armor is just so good, and if you guys noticed, his lings and his AI, and I want to show you exactly what I mean by that, but it's kind of significant. So let's see, let's back up one more time. Now when we first engage, watch these mutas in the back and see exactly, like, make it sideways here. Let's make it normal, and how do I go sideways? Okay, we're gonna go sideways here. Now watch what these guys shoot at first. See that? See all these mutas attacking these lings? That's why having ground advantage in these types of huge battles is actually a pretty big deal. All of his mutas, well, most of them anyway, he's got some attacking my drones, but a lot of his mutas focus firing these mutas. So in these types of situations, it's really good to just tell your mutas, run inside of the other mutas and focus fire one of their mutas. Then once they're close enough to the mutas, they're going to automatically focus fire the mutas. They prioritize mutas when they're in range, but like down here, they weren't in range. And even some more attacks going down. This guy's attacking lings, this guy's attacking lings. They're just not close enough to these mutas to auto-target the mutas. And his guy is actually able to catch a couple rallying mutas. So he just positioned himself better. He had the upgrade advantage, and of course the ground advantage allowed his glaives, allowed his lings to absorb some of the glaives. And it's really just, I was really just behind, and he chose the perfect time to attack, so kudos to him. But anyway, pretty good game. Definitely should have just cut my losses after I realized he was all-inning me. And instead of going for the +1 attack, I should have gone macro Zerg, and I think I would have taken the game pretty easily. But that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.